Imagine a colleague ignored you at work. Your boss criticized you and a friend forgot your birthday. What does this have to do with your intimate relationship? That's the question. So in my talk, I will focus exactly on this question, and I would like to focus on stress that you experience outside of your relationship. At work, with neighbors, friends, family of origin, or simply from daily hassles that ruin your day. The causes of this stress have nothing to do with your relationship or your partner. It's what we call external stress. By contrast, internal stress refers to disagreements, arguments, disturbing habits of your partner, or their problematic way of dealing with stress. Internal stress is another issue, but I will now focus, as I said, on this external stress. That's a very common phenomenon, and external stress is very common because we usually spend more time outside our relationships than we do with our partners. This means that this stress that we experience with our partners have an impact on our living, and I would like to talk about that now. What does it mean? It means that we have these two kinds of stress, internal and external stress, but the external stress doesn't stay outside our relationship. It spills over into it. Each partner brings their stress at home, their irritations, their frustrations, their anxieties. Your bad mood may start to irritate your partner too. As a result, they may feel irritated, frustrated, and seek conflict, or they feel sad and withdraw. The stress of one partner becomes stress for both. This means that people in intimate relationships usually face double stress, their own and their partners. Singles only have their own stress to manage. So why should we be in a relationship? Why should we be in a couple? But here lies the good news. Intimate relationships offer unique resources. Ideally, you may experience support, instrumental and emotional support from your partner when you are stressed. You may engage in shared problem solving or navigate emotions as a team. This process of dealing with stress together is what I call dyadic coping. Dyadic coping involves the process of communication of stress and dyadic coping responses. Communication of stress can take various forms. Verbal, I'm totally confused, I'm shaken up. Paraverbal, like changes in voice pitch or tone, and nonverbal, like sighing, fidgeting, conveying irritability, insecurity, fear, or helplessness. On the other hand, the dyadic coping responses range from negative, superficial, ambivalent, rejecting, ignoring, criticizing, to positive dyadic coping behaviors like showing understanding, empathy, or solidarity. You also offer comfort to your partner when they are stressed, and you help them to reframe the situation. All this is what dyadic coping means. As a professor of clinical psychology, I have studied with my team dyadic coping for almost 30 years. What I would like to address today is based on our research, and this will be mainly three questions. First, what makes dyadic coping responses effective? Second question, what characterizes effective communication of stress? And third, Are women better than men in dyadic coping? Let's start with the first question. What makes dyadic coping responses effective? An example. You're criticized by your boss for a report that you rushed to complete while covering for a sick colleague. It wasn't your area of expertise, so it was very time-consuming, demanding, and challenging. Despite your extra effort, the only feedback you get is your work wasn't good enough. It needs immediate revision. This is hard because you invested a lot of time. And so when then later you tell your partner about this experience, they may respond, I know, I understand you're angry, but take it easy, it's not that bad. This may sound supportive at first glance. Wow, there's an empathic partner who wants to help. On closer inspection, however, the phrase misses the mark. Why? Most people don't really know how their partners feel. Usually we make projections based on how we would feel in the same situation. If your partner assumes that you're angry, but actually you feel disappointed, sad, or anxious, you won't feel understood. Even worse, if your partner says, that's not that bad, this might come across as dismissing or minimizing. Why would you keep chewing over this event if it wasn't important for you? Lessons learned. Ask but not assume. This means that effective dyadic coping responses require asking, not assuming. Instead of making projections, seek to understand your partner by asking open-ended questions. Tell me, why was this criticism so terrible? Why did you react the way you did? Moving from I know how you feel to I would like to understand your reactions and what it means to you ensures that you feel heard and understood and validated instead of judged and trivialized. Let's come to the next question. What characterizes effective communication of stress? Returning to our example, why did the criticism of your boss feel so irritating? Likely because it seemed unfair, undeserved, or ungrateful. Exactly this evaluation causes your stress. If you dig deeper, you might realize that you feel sad because you didn't receive recognition. No one appreciates that you stepped in for your sick colleague and took on extra work. You may feel shame because the result wasn't your best and you made a bad impression. Or you might be anxious about what this could mean for your future career in this company. Your stress stems from deeper emotions that are related to your evaluation of the situation. Talk about them when you address the issue to your partner. By sharing deeper emotions, you open the door for genuine understanding and meaningful support. Lessons learned. Stress communication is crucial for getting adequate dyadic coping responses, the responses that you need that are related to your needs. By talking about deeper emotions, instead of just a situation or anger, you allow your partner to understand and to connect with your experience. Let's come to the third question. Are women better dyadic copers than men? It's a common belief that women are better at supporting than men. Our research will offer some nuance. In an experimental study, we investigated dyadic coping in heterosexual couples. They were randomly assigned to 3 conditions. In the first group, only the woman was stressed. In the second group, only the man was stressed. In the third group, both were stressed independently at the same time. What did we find? Regarding stress communication, women express their stress longer and in more detail than men. They also addressed more emotions, but not necessarily deeper ones. And regarding dyadic coping responses, men were equally good in supporting than women when they were not stressed. They did a good job. They were empathic and provided dyadic coping support like we have seen before, like reframing the situation, showing empathy, and so on. When men were stressed, however, their dyadic coping responses declined significantly. Under stress, they became absorbed by themselves, preoccupied, and were no longer responsive to their partner. Even worse, if the woman expressed their stress very emotionally, men more likely engaged into negative dyadic coping. I know that you're stressed, but pull yourself together, relax now. Their voice tone became impatient, harsh, or rejecting. Women, on the other hand, remained good dyadic copers independently of whether they were stressed or not. This difference may stem from evolutionary roles where women learned to manage their stress and being attentive at the same times for others, a skill that persists today. You can see here very clearly that with no stress, women and men react similarly, more or less, but as soon as they are stressed, you see how men's capacities of coping decline significantly, and how much they become negative under stress. So let's come to the lessons learned. Women and men are equally good in dyadic coping when they are not stressed. As soon as men are stressed, they lose these capacities. This means that we should help them by offering like a decompression phase. Say, just relax, man, take your time, but then you will be back and then you have to provide support that covers my needs. So let's come to the key message, the road behind. This means that external stress isn't just an individual struggle. It impacts everyone around us. Friends, partners, children, colleagues at work. Don't let affect stress your relationships. Instead, turn it into an opportunity for intimacy and connection by asking open-ended questions and by self-disclosing emotions. Transform it into a catalyst for resilience by enhancing your dyadic coping. Thank you.